Wild animals are often perceived as dangerous, particularly those that have spent their entire lives in the jungle. However, for one man, a unique encounter awaited him, a wounded wolf. This man, named Jordan, took it upon himself to free the wolf from a trap. What unfolded next is truly astonishing. Jordan was a spirited young man with a natural inclination for adventure. From a young age, he displayed an outgoing nature and felt more at ease in the great outdoors than the typical child. However, he didn't have many friends, as he often preferred solitude and actively avoided social interactions. Despite his inclination towards solitude, he cherished his strolls with his dog, Diesel, an energetic German shepherd gifted to him by his father on his 13th birthday. Together, they would explore the woods, engaging in pursuits like chasing rabbits and squirrels. Whenever they successfully caught one, they would release it back into the wild, embodying their respect for nature. Jordan's teenage years were predominantly shared with his beloved canine companion. Sadly, as time passed, Diesel succumbed to old age, leaving Jordan heartbroken. Little did he realize that one day, a rare encounter with a wild animal, a wolf, would profoundly alter the course of his life. As the years passed, Jordan eventually got married and had kids, but he never stopped going into the woods. He enjoyed listening to the birds, and sometimes he would just camp there. One evening, a few weeks before his 40th birthday, he went to the forest as usual, but this time around to take photos. He was taking a picture of a squirrel when he suddenly heard a strange howl. Jordan froze immediately. "What's that?" he gasped. The sound came again, and this time he was very sure that it was a wolf. He had heard their howls many times at night, even though he had never really seen them up close. However, this howl sounded different. Jordan could tell that whatever wolf was making that sound was in pain, lots of pain. Jordan looked in the direction he had heard the cry. It sounded like it was coming from the deeper parts of the forest. The man was in a fix. He wasn't sure whether to head back home or to go in search of the animal that needed his help. He had never rescued a wolf before, but he knew one thing for sure. Doing so was dangerous. While contemplating what to do next, the howl came again. This time, it was louder and more desperate. It was as if the animal could no longer bear the pain. The howl got to Jordan, and before he knew it, he took to his heels, ready to save the animal that was calling for his help. He pushed through some thick foliage before bursting out into an opening. Just then, he stopped and froze. Crouching on the ground mere feet away from Jordan was a wolf with its front legs trapped. The wolf's eyes bore so much pain, and it stared angrily at Jordan. It seemed as if the wolf was saying, "Don't you dare come near me? Hey, you are in pain, right? If you let me, I can help you." "I'm not here to hurt you," Jordan said. But the wolf howled. It was angry. It didn't trust Jordan at all. It was as if the man's presence only infuriated the wolf as it desperately tried to free itself from the trap, but it only made matters worse. "If you keep doing that, you will hurt yourself some more. Listen, buddy, I'm here to help," Jordan said calmly as he approached the animal. But the wolf let out a very loud howl. Frightening, Jordan quickly moved away from the angry animal. Despite the wolf's discouraging behavior, Jordan still wanted to help it. He knew the wolf was simply acting that way because it was uncomfortable and in lots of pain. He took compassion for the poor animal and decided to give it all it would take to save the animal, even if it meant risking his own life. Looking closer, Jordan realized that the wolf had sustained a very deep cut on its leg because of the trap. From the look of the injury, Jordan could tell that the animal had been trapped for more than 24 hours. It was a standard animal trap, and it had caught the leg quite well. Its sharp metal claws dug deeper into the wolf's leg with every movement. The wolf was not fully grown yet. It looked to be at most 6 months old. It had light brown fur and black eyes, quite a unique blend. It also had a streak of white fur on its head right between its eyes. Jordan was devastated, knowing the wolf had most likely spent the whole night out there in the cold. It must have been a lonely, long, and frightening one. Ready to take another chance, Jordan inched closer to the wounded animal, but he fell backward when the wolf bared its fangs at him. It was then he realized that saving the wolf would be an uphill battle. Jordan knew the only way out was to earn the animal's trust. That way, the wolf would let him near it. He stood back, thinking about a way out. Meanwhile, the wolf kept on whimpering. It was getting more and more tired. The pain was draining it of all its strength, so Jordan knew he had to act really fast. Food, Jordan suddenly muttered. Jordan knew the wolf must be hungry, and eating would go a long way to rekindle its strength. It could also make the animal trust him. Wasting no time, Jordan went hunting. It took a while, but he was eventually able to find a hare and he took it down. Afterward, he went back with the dead hare to where the wolf was. With his knife, he cut open the hare and began throwing pieces at the wolf. At first, the animal refused, baring its teeth at Jordan. But the man didn't give up, and he continued throwing pieces of meat at the wolf. It wasn't long before the wolf could no longer resist the food, and eventually began to eat the pieces of meat Jordan threw at it. It ate slowly at first, but it soon got really comfortable and was gobbling it up. As the animal ate, Jordan moved closer to it. At first, Jordan's movement seemed to irritate the animal, but later it didn't care and it let Jordan move closer to it. While the wolf was distracted by the food, Jordan tried to reach for the trap, but the wolf sensed the movement and snapped at him. At this rate, Jordan knew he wouldn't get this done today. He had to look for another way to get the animal to trust him and to also remove the trap from its legs. While the wounded animal ate, Jordan hurried home to get his catch pole. By the time he returned, the wolf was already getting filled. He could see that some strength had returned to the animal, and it was no longer whimpering like before. Just then, Jordan quickly tried to pin the wolf down with the catch pole, but the animal quickly moved away. "Oh, come on, I'm trying to help you," he said and tried again, but the wolf moved away again. Despite all this, Jordan remained patient with the injured animal. He paused all of his movements for a few seconds. Then he moved closer to the animal, and in a calm tone, he said, "Hey, buddy, I'm trying to help you here, okay? Please let me get you out of this trap." As soon as he said those words, the wolf surprisingly became calm and stopped fighting back. At that moment, Jordan quickly pressed its head down, and the wolf didn't fight back. It just lay still, as if it finally understood what was happening. What Jordan did next was extremely dangerous. Carefully, he used his hands to remove the trap from the wolf's legs, freeing the animal. With its newfound freedom, there was nothing preventing the wolf from potentially attacking Jordan, who had quickly retreated after releasing the animal. However, what unfolded next was nothing short of astonishing. The wolf whimpered for a while before slowly rising to its feet. Its gaze bore into Jordan's soul, and an inexplicable sense of happiness seemed to radiate from the wolf. It even appeared to be wearing a smile. Then, unexpectedly, the wolf offered a slight bow. Witnessing this, Jordan's jaw dropped, and the catch pole slipped from his grasp. Could it be that the animal was expressing gratitude? Did it truly recognize him as its savior? Following this remarkable interaction, the wolf suddenly turned and limped away. Jordan couldn't help but break into a smile. He had rescued a life, confirming that humans were not the sole beings capable of profound emotions. From that moment forward, he committed himself to the noble cause of rescuing injured animals in the woods. What do you think of this story? If you found yourself in Jordan's situation, how would you have reacted? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below.